The Avaloq B Source transaction provides us with an opportunity to analyze the evolution of the banking industry as well as of the bank BPO segment. And again, in your press statement, you establish a link between the deal and the banking industry consolidation. Actually, what are the main impacts that you expect out of this deal?
Well, probably it's all about catalyzation, because lots of elements were there, but a little bit dormant. So everybody was talking about the industrialization to come, but it was a little bit waiting for Godot. Industrialization happened around the banking industry, but or banking IT. So basically the facts are that if you try to evaluate the volume of this market in Switzerland, the BPO market in banking IT, it's something about 1 to 2 billion. It's very difficult to calculate that exactly, but this is our best guess, I would say. If you take a look at how many BPO providers or so-called providers or almost providers or half providers, then I would say the inner circle is about a dozen, and then you come the next circle is about 2 dozen, and if you count everything, you will find 30 or what. Now the problem is that as a bank, outsourcing is a very important move. And it's not something that you can yo-yo and back and forth with. I mean, if you do it, you do it. And then the next question is, what's the risk of that move? And so you're interested basically in outsourcing to a solid company. Now, of course, you could say, well, IBM is a very solid company, or HP, or all these large multinational companies. The fact is that they are not in this business in Switzerland, well, peripheral business or analog business, but not in the strict term of banking BPO. So at the end of the day, it's a game of Swiss companies and not very large companies. And if they are not very large, it's of course is a little bit more risky in the sense that if one client breaks away, then you start having a problem either in economy of scale or in profitability and so on. So what we need is a number of solid BPO providers who make money. It's very important who make money, because it's important for the bank that they can lower their cost. But it's important also to have a provider who makes money, because this provider, to be state-of-the-art, needs to reinvest and needs to have a sound setup in financial terms. So this is why I think it's profitable for everybody to have a consolidation. Now this deal, of course, was a kind of a first mover deal, in the sense that I'm not saying that there are not setups and not movements, but this is in the latest history one of the major deals. And so, of course, we already hear companies saying, "Hey, what about us? Well, should we do something?" And so it's a little bit the beginning of this. Probably the speed will increase.
So it was the constitution of a strong set of competitors that are valuable partners for the Swiss banks.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the first stages of the MAS assignment in this deal was in fact the evaluation of strategic options for BSI, respectively B Source. So we are in this process of finding the right partners also. Which were the main options you considered initially, and which were the main pros and cons, if you can provide us with this information?
I can say a few things, others not. Well, the first thing I can say is that this was a very professional process, in the sense that we had, if I remember well, at least 6 options, and not fake options, real options. Of course, as you do that, I mean, you have criteria. You have to go to go into details, and based on a first iteration, then it boiled down to two options. Well, I can say that the maximum I could say is that we had among the 6 options, we had, of course, software companies, we had service providers, and we had banks. So you see, it was really evaluating different types of setups. And so in the last round, of course, we established a letter of intent with the two players, because one has to be aware this is a very costly process. I mean, go into the details and you mobilize and you go for due diligences and all that. This is heavy work, especially because on both sides operations go on. So it's a huge project. Okay. So this is, I will not be able to say more, but it was a very interesting process. And interestingly enough, if you choose really carefully the criteria and you have a good process, it really comes out. At the end of the day, we had 2 options, and we could have lived with both options.
Understand. Maybe in one specific area you can tell us a bit more, especially in what concerns the approach taken, the model used to determine the value of B Source, mainly with the goal to understand, to identify the value drivers of a bank BPO company.
Well, this is the most difficult question for me, because I'm limited in what I can say here, but let me tell you what it's not. You open a Big 5 book where you go and look for the multiples and then you apply it. This is not it. Because you can do that when you have a large number of comparable companies and comparable transactions. Here we don't have that. So of course you need to have, I would say, a custom-made valuation formula. And of course, at the end of the day, both parties need to agree on that formula. And this certainly takes a couple of iterations, because you have to say, well, you know, I propose this formula because this, and this. And then the other party would say, well, but in this formula you don't evaluate enough this, and that. And then they agree to put another parameter. And so the formula, bottom line, is a custom formula. Of course, it's not way out of if you look back then and you compare it to multiples, or be it from revenues, be it from earnings, you're not way out. But in a deal like that, you know, where you have a unique piece that you don't find 10 of them, it becomes pretty much custom. But I gave you a little bit some hints about.
Excellent, thank you.